Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, your home for all content Lord of the Rings home. Today we're going to be talking about what's going on with my free-to-play account. Well, we just reached 100k collection power, so I kind of want to give you an update on what I'm doing on my free-to-play account. Basically, what does my account look like? Am I prepared for Elrond? What am I doing right now? What am I farming right now? How am I doing in arena? How am I doing in raids? Kind of what my plans are for the future. We're just going to kind of dive into it. So let's start out. Keeps going, taking me to the bottom of the roster here. Actually, just got Strider to 7 stars. I just finished him up yesterday, I believe. So that's going to be good. You can see I basically have 3 standard teams, right, that you would expect. I have my Rohan 3, Aemir Eowyn there, and Eothane. And then I've got, the Isengard 3 plus IH. And then I did have Grimlers on that team for a while, but I've kind of now switched to Morja, and then I'm also getting up Ajak. Slowly but surely. Ajak is my one person where, you level them once a day, you put on 1 piece of gear per day so that you can complete your daily objectives. Ajak is that for me right now. You can see that I've stopped farming Eowyn and Eothane, and they're not going past 5 stars. Same with some of my Isengard here. And the reasoning for that is, right now, I essentially do 350 gem refreshes a day and 1 guild refresh. And I want to use that limited energy to do a number of things. Make sure that I can get a really good Rivendell team and that I am prepared for a 7-star Elrond when he comes back around sometime in the future. And 2, getting other characters up to 5 stars so that I am a little bit prepared for future legendary events. So unless these characters are really, really good in raids, then I will consider kind of adding them back to the farm cadence. Right now, Rohan 3 are fine, right? But Rivendell is a lot more... it's the best raid team, right? So I might consider doing Rohan up to 7 stars. We'll see, because I have parts of it already at 7 stars. I'm still up in the air about that. I have a third team, which is basically leftover, elves with Legolas as their leader. They do pretty well in raids, but you can see that I am essentially ready for 5-star Elrond. Not 6-star, though. I stopped farming Lomian. I don't think he is worth it on a free-to-play account right now. He's pretty good in Chapter 2. I think he's okay in Chapter 4 as well, but I don't think he's worth the limited amount of resources I have in my free-to-play account when I can get up somebody like Legolas, who can be used later on, or Naramiri, who I think is valuable in every chapter of the raid. Plus, it's a lot easier farm here, so I could have maybe gotten to 6 stars if I stuck with Lomian and maybe was continuing to do some refreshes, but I stopped all of that, and I'm essentially just going to get 5-star Elrond. I'll keep farming Elladan and Arwen, eventually get that up to 7 stars. In terms of... Oops. There's Legolas. He's not even 5 stars yet. I wasn't sure what they were going to do with him, where they're going to put him. Turns out the arena store is pretty friendly, and I've started farming him now that I have Aemir at 7. In terms of Gandalf, I basically do okay in the raids on my free-to-play account, but I don't get Gandalf shards at the moment. And so I'm basically relying on my guild's Gandalf shards that they get from the boxes. So let's go take a quick look at that. If it will load, there you go. I actually can't, I can maybe show you some of my scores here. Yeah, this is the last raid. So Chapter 1, I basically have 3 raid teams. My Rohan 3 with Strider and Halbarad, and then my Isengard with IH and Morja here. And so they did pretty well. They're not, they're not capping out at 900k, but I think for what the amount of investment I've put into them, they're doing fine, right? This is 1.2 mil right here. And then I've got my Legolas-led elf team right here. That's about 300k. They haven't quite pushed up into difficulty 3. It's still a little bit too hard for them. I'm not sure they're going to make it there. I'm basically not putting resources into anything but saving up for Elrond. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to get him to level 60, gear tier 8, at least level 4 on all abilities, probably some higher than that as soon as he is released, right? And then I think that will give me a 3rd raid team that is going to be my best raid team by far. I'll work on getting my Rivendell maxed out, and then I can place some other, I can get a 4th raid squad that's kind of just still leftovers of stuff. So Chapter 1, I'm doing okay. What is that? 1.5 mil? I can't even do chapter 2 here. Chapter 2, I can tell you, I'm probably getting, I'm just about, it's like 700k, I would say. I do pretty well with both my Isengard squad and the Rohan squad, especially the Isengard one. They do all right, and then again, the Legolas one is okay. Definitely less than chapter 1, obviously. Chapter 3, I got 2 of those like 90 to 100k teams, the cheese teams, and then I'm doing probably similar to chapter 1, but a little bit less. I think I'm on kind of on the order of like 1.2 millish for that. And then chapter 4, which I've only done one time on this particular account, I did like 550k. So absolutely abysmal rating scores on chapter 4. So something I am currently farming character shard wise is actually the dwarves. And you're going to go, well, yeah, of course you are, because you love dwarves so much. So I did get Gimli to 5 stars here in the guild campaign. I also got Bekaloo to 5 stars. I haven't quite upgraded her yet, but I'm farming the dwarves up, the shards for the dwarves, and I think that's a good idea for my account, because I think eventually by the time I get them up to 5 stars or more, dwarves like Biffer will be farmable, dwarves like Balin will be farmable, hopefully Rumel and Orifim as well, and then I can kind of collate them into 1 or 2 dwarf and elf squads, and I think those will act as really good raid teams as well. Again, I'm also trying to cover my bases for legendary requirements. To me, this is not advice, but to me, it would appear that there's a decent chance that dwarves are an unlock requirement for something, maybe in a legendary in the near future here, just because of the release cadence and how many they're doing. That's my thought. I talked about it on Boons and Banes the other day as well. So I'm doing that on my free-to-play account as well. I'm just farming up Feely, Keely. I've got Gimli at 5 stars. I'm farming up Fro, and as soon as they release Biffer, I will start farming him up as well. I think they're pretty good in raids though, too. So the other thing is I'm kind of just waiting on like a decent shadow squad. I didn't invest in Haradrim on my free-to-play account. I don't want to invest that much more in Isengard. They're a fun team to play. I enjoy them. I think they'll be good in multi-squad PvP, but I don't think they pack the punch that like Rohan 3 does in raids now, especially with Chapter 4 out. Basically, Chapter 4 is sort of the nail in the coffin for Isengard. It's like a top-tier raid team, in my opinion. Let's talk about Arena really quick. I'm sitting at the bottom of Gold 1, essentially. It comes down to how much time I have every day. I do need to basically do all 5 arena attacks if I want to get into Mithril 2 and stay decently up there. If I only do 2, then I just get knocked down day after day. This is my arena squad. It's unchanged since last time. It actually does very, very well. It's about 41k power. I don't struggle. I don't like lose to many teams, but I think it's also pretty easily beatable. It's pretty easy for people to like have this team figured out by now too, because it's like the free-to-play sort of arena team. So it's fine. Obviously, I'm going to switch to Elrond when I can. And so that's another reason why I'm hoarding for Elrond, is that, you know, that very first day, I can basically take him to level 60. And all the skill. Why does it keep resetting down there? That's interesting. Oh, it's because I was looking at Gandalf. Okay, so let me find Naramiri. So basically, yeah, I've got enough gold. No worries there. And then I've just been farming up, you know, tokens. I still need to get some of these. I think I'm good on turquoise. I think I need like 10 more, but that's fine. And then the ones I'm working on right now are actually the candles, right? And I think I'll be ready. I think I'll be pretty ready for all of that. I'm excited because it will actually feel like I'm contributing to the raids on my free-to-play account in like a meaningful way once I get Elrond, I feel like. That's just sort of where I'm at now. 100k TCP. Doing all right. Just kind of chugging along and waiting and waiting and waiting. If the next Shadow Squad that they release is very good, I will consider kind of preparing myself to farm for that. Obviously not going to spend on them, but preparing myself to farm for that. And then one thing I do want to end this video with is that I am considering leveling up the Balin 3. Let me see. Balin's Expedition here up at the top. I'm considering, so I have them at 3 stars. I'm considering leveling them up to like level 45, maybe gear tier 5 or 6, and then just seeing how well they perform in the chapters of the raid on that very low amount of investment. A team I would like to get, in my free-to-play account is the goblins, but because Great Goblin is basically gems only, I just can't do that. It's something I've considered on my main account as well. There's just I need a shadow squad. I have so many shadow crystals that I'm not using because I'm just kind of slow rolling Isengard and getting them up. But that's just sort of a quick account update on my free-to-play account. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to continue to do these pretty regularly, or, you know, when they hit significant milestones. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.